Hello and welcome into today's edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hicks and I am your lead beat writer for the Arizona State Sun Devils on SI. And I'm so grateful to be joining you on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. We are in the midst of a bye week for the Arizona State Sun Devils as they head into I can't put it any other way than the seismic battle against the Utah Utes in Week 7 of the college football season next Saturday. It will be a night kickoff from Salt Lake City, so all eyes will be on the Sun Devils as they look to improve to 3-0 in the conference and set themselves up for an absolutely consequential battle with Texas Tech in Tempe the following week. But until then, we just have to see what the team does in practice this week, how the team has responded to the huge win over TCU, and they continue to be even keeled. They practiced well. A lot of this week was skill development more than anything else, and practices were fairly short this week. There wasn't a lot to write home about, just typical Arizona State branded football, and I am very intrigued to see how they come out of the bye week because Utah is going to have a lot of pressure on themselves because if they lose to Arizona State at home next week, then they are, for all intents and purposes, out of the Big 12 title race. And to be out of the conference title conversation for a third straight season would not be the ideal outcome of a program that believes they could be a Big 12 caliber member. So yeah, that is the segue into the meat of today's episode, which I will be talking about two separate things. The first thing is the Arizona State trip to London next season to face the Kansas Jayhawks. That was officially confirmed early on Wednesday. The Big 12 made a statement. Arizona State Athletic Director Graham Rossini made a statement, and Kenny Dillingham was saying that traveling to London's a good experience, but would be a good experience, but he didn't have much else to say in terms of that. But it's just the main thing that you should get out of that is that it's going to be a hectic first few weeks for the Sun Devils. Even if Sam Leavitt returns for his junior season next year, you're going to have a lot of turnover on the roster from year to year. There's going to be a lot of transfers coming in. There's going to be players such as Martell Hughes that are playing a decently sized role now that will be playing massive roles next season. Jordan Tyson is likely pro-bound. Players like Xavion Alford and Prince Dorba have no eligibility remaining after this season. So there's going to be a lot of roster turnover, a lot of new starters, a lot different from the 2025 season. And they start out with Texas A&M on the road before hitting the road to London to face Kansas. That's going to be quite the run of games for the Sun Devils, going from a game against a physical SEC defense in a hostile environment to London and the time zone change. I don't know how they'll do it, but if anybody has a team prepared for a situation like that, it's Kenny Dillingham. And there should be little to no doubt surrounding him as the steward of the program. And Sun Devil fans should be absolutely overjoyed that they have an opportunity to prove themselves on a global stage. Getting the Sun Devil brand out beyond the alumni base is massive because there's alumni virtually everywhere around the world from Arizona State. And making the brand a global brand is probably going to serve the Sun Devils well if they're successful in doing so, at least in terms of the football program. But we shall see what happens in the next year or so. And that is perfect leading into an official report via the Arizona Board of Regents. They officially approved the Arizona State plans to renovate Desert Financial Arena, which is the basketball arena for men's and women's hoops, and some other sports, including wrestling, as well as the practice facility that Kenny Dillingham has spoke about at length since the onset of fall practice. At the beginning of fall camp, he was saying that he had hoped that the there would be construction starting on the project in early 2026 and that it would open for the 2027 season opener. But as of right now, it looks like it's going to be more so in the looks like early 2028 for the practice facility. And according to Chris Cartman of Sun Devil Source, it looks like it's going to cost around $35 million to build the practice facility. Looks like it's going, the plans right now for blueprint, in terms of blueprints, is to build the practice facility on the north side of Mountain America Stadium, which would take out some parking lot space, but it would serve the Sun Devil football program very, very well. Practicing at the Bill Kajikawa practice fields is nice at certain points, but during the summer it's absolutely brutal to have to practice, not only practice outside every single day, but also having to cross Rural Road in Tempe, a major intersection road that goes from north to south to get to the facility again. That adds hazard to it, and it makes things all the more brutal. And there are certain things such as not being able to use the indoor practice facility they currently have in the Verde Dickey Dome. Well, it's storming outside. They can't do that. That was something Kenny Dillingham said during the post-game press conference last week. They weren't able to do certain things pre-game because of the storming. And with an indoor practice facility that is permanent and set on solid foundation, that will change things. Not only will they be able to practice, possibly host multiple sports in there, but it's possible. Also, they can turn it into an indoor tailgating facility. That's what Dillingham said all along. And Arizona State football continues to lead the charge in terms of innovation. I know that's an old, overused term. It's a cliche. But it really is true, at least under Dillingham and Graham Rossini. And for DFA, it looks like DFA's renovations are going to start a little later. It sounds like the 2027 renovation for DFA would enter design phase next January, which is upcoming in a few months. And construction is expected to begin in January of 2027, so just over a year from now, and completion in December of 2029. So it's going to take a while to officially renovate DFA in its entirety. It's realistically going to take about 3 years, and it sounds like it will cost around $100 million as previously reported to do the renovations. It sounds like it's going to be a complete overhaul, updating the arena's existing life safety systems, concourse, concession stands, and circulation experience, as well as upgrade the locker and restroom facilities, while ensuring ADA compliance. And that's according to Chris Cartman per the Arizona State filing with the Board of Regents. So DFA is going to be the home for Sun Devil basketball for a long time. It opened in 1974, and the facility has gone a little downhill over the years, to say it nicely. But like I said, under Graham Rossini, the athletic department is very, very forward-thinking. They are looking forward to building up Sun Devil athletics, not only within the football program, but other sports. And that is such a good thing. It's such an assuring thing to know that you have leadership that truly cares about the being well-rounded in terms of athletics and not just focusing on one sport or two sports. And DFA being renovated is going to be massive. It remains to be seen if they will be able to play in DFA during these renovations as well. They could possibly move to Mullet for a couple of seasons. We will see what happens when the time allows it to. But for now, Arizona State athletics are in a great spot. Arizona State football is in a great spot, and I am so grateful to be covering it for you each and every single day. And thank you all so much for tuning in today, and I will see you tomorrow.